going on, guys?
What's happening?
Nothing much. We already got quite a few people hopped on. We got 13 people just like that. Wow. Jon with Torrent Outdoors must have brought his crew with him like he did last time.
Hey, people.
If you guys can, please drop a comment in the comment section below. Where you're watching from. So, Randy's like, howdy.
We got Daryl, Ken, Randy already hit him up. What's up, Amy?
We got 18 on here already.
Dave, Timothy Campbell, Paul Roach.
No pressure, Jon, but you got a crowd today.
Bring it.
Good.
We got the Wiz.
I don't know who Snurly is. First one on today. He's watching on YouTube, so if you can, drop your name in the comment section, so we know who's watching from YouTube. And Kenneth is watching too. So awesome.
Lloyd, Florida Jerry from West Palm Beach.
Down towards my neck of the woods.
Yeah, during the hot summer days of Florida right now, we're working our way out of it. So
yes, sir.
So we got folks from all over. My wife just walked in and was like, "Howdy." That's how I started off. I get so much flack from her of how I talk whenever we're on the live. So
Snurly is Chris Lindsay.
Okay, yeah, okay. He's one of the new members that joined the club this year. So
awesome. Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome.
Yeah, I did a count today. We have 18 new members that joined the Florida Kayak Bass Trail this year, new to this year's trail. So that's awesome. We have 54, I think, total, and out of 18 of them are brand new to the club, which is awesome. So, and we still got we're about a month out from our first event. We're about a month out today, right? Today's the 14th.
I think Bailey, Spears, and Harrelson were fishing in the Bass Pro Tank last weekend. I was drop shotting in a deep Clearwater lake last weekend.
With the Striker 4.0.
With the Striker 4.0 and a hover rig.
Is Dave alluding to our numbers on the monthly? Hey, all I'm gonna say is Felsmer and Stick Marsh is gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, that right there is
yep. And with the little chartreuse on the tip of the tail,
you got it.
And that's my number one chatterbait trailer too. On the back end of a jackhammer, or a Strike King Thunder Cricket being the number one.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, that Strike King Thunder Cricket with one of those 4.0s on the back of it, deadly. Yep, deadly. Hey, that color too, not too shabby there, sir.
I like it.
That's got the timber crawl on the back, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, we got 24 folks on here joining us tonight on this 25 now. If you guys could please drop a like and comment in the section below. Just kind of introduce yourself. I know we got quite a bit on here, but definitely go ahead and like our streams or our posts and on Facebook as well, and share it with your friends and family so that we can boost those numbers up. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch tonight's live, and I'm going to toss it over to Todd. He's going to introduce one of our sponsors, Jon, here, and we're going to let Jon introduce some of the stuff he has coming on with us this year. So Todd, I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, excellent. Well, as a lot of you know from last year, Jon is a good friend of mine. I've known from back in Nashville, and he was kind enough to jump on board with us last year, and he's got some fantastic baits. Good Christian guy, good soul, good family man, love him to death, and think the world of him. So Jon Nelson with Torrent Outdoors, welcome you back again. And for those that don't know Jon, I hope you find out a lot from him tonight. He's a world of knowledge in the fishing industry for us, and not only, there in Middle Tennessee, he knows fish all over the place. He's fished from way up north all the way down south. So, Jon, welcome aboard, and
appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Yeah. So, like they said, I'm Jon Nelson. I've been doing this business now for about 4 years. I myself am a fisherman, so I wanted to create stuff that I really wanted to use. So that's kind of how it started. It kind of had Todd. It kind of had like a selfish motive because I was like, man, I wish this thing could do this. I wish this thing could do that. So what I started doing was putting drawings on paper, and I just kept looking and looking and trying to find software engineers. And I finally locked into one and started taking my specs off the paper and putting it live to 3D drafting. And then from there, we would do sample molds, and I would test these different samples. And I would either say, hey, we need to thicken it up here, or this might not give it enough action, or this could be a vulnerable spot where it'll just rip too easy. And so it took a couple years before I decided to go into the business, but because I had to go through different plastics and wanted to find the right combination of plastic that will give good action, but also not rip on every little, you get hung in the weeds and it's ripped. I mean, so I wanted to make sure that we had some decent products to offer, and that's really how we got started. I started with your basic worm. This was kind of my flagship product right here. It's called the Striker 4.0. Anytime you see a number along with my lure, that's just telling you the length. So this is about 4 inches. This is kind of your catch-all type bait. I do have, I wonder if I have one with me, but I sell a wide gap tungsten Ned head that actually the length of this part of the body is designed for that, and it's on our website. But this is kind of like a shaky head slash Ned slash drop shot, as you heard it, slash chatterbait trailer, a lot of different things, hover rig, things of that nature. And that's kind of where I started, guys. I started with the Striker 4.0, and then you guys were an inspiration. The Florida guys were an inspiration of flipping stick worms. And I knew that 4.0, you could flip it, but I know guys like a little bit more of a larger profile. So we went to the Striker 6.0. So it's basically got the same characteristics where you got the ribbed solid body up top, and then it transitions to the ring. And that's how I could get that action without compromising durability and plastic. So you kind of see the same kind of elements. They're not exactly the same because I designed the heads to be different. This is more of a blunt head. I literally, you can see it. I cut it off my line there. I was actually catching fish flipping this, so I literally cut it off my rig. So
Nice.
flipping the worm, and Florida was an inspiration that because I didn't want to just make another stick bait. Yamamoto has got that game locked for fall rate. So I wanted something that you could flip. The body's thick enough to hold a big hook. Here you got a 4/0 and you still got room. So if you tear this up, bite it off, keep going. So that Todd. I started with the worms, and you know that. Then I went to the craw style bait. This is called the timber craw, and it comes together in the package, like connected at the base here and down here. This one's a little soft. This one was been sitting in my tackle box in the heat. So, but as you can see, I designed it to hold a decent flipping hook. And the timber craw can be used for a lot of things. One of my favorite ways to use it right now is on a buzz bait. So this is how I throw my buzz bait here, up here in Tennessee and up north. I caught some big old largemouth and smallmouth with it. But guys, you can see where it comes together here, and you just tear them apart. And this is a great way to throw a buzz bait. It doesn't puff up in the cast and hang in the air. You can really whip this out. It's got some good weight to it, and you can really move that through. And I'm guessing, depending on what lakes you are fishing, I'm guessing you guys got grass, right? A lot of grass.
Quite a bit of grass.
For sure.
A lot of grass. So sparse grass, you can use this all types of ways. The Striker 6.0, I love to flip it. I love to flip it in wood. I love to flip it around the base of grass clumps. Here is a really great way to throw it too if you guys have sparse grass, and that's to Nico rig it. And as you can see, I have those ribs, and that holds that gasket, that O-ring really well. Oh, Ethan Jett just jumped on. He's one of my guys.
Yeah.
He just won.
And shout out to Ethan, man.
For
He just
sure.
won a big tournament, man. I'm real proud of him.
Back to back, he did really well in Gunnersville. We fished against him on the Native No Limits, finished second there, and then 2 weeks later he was on Gunnersville and won it. Beat a lot of really good anglers out there. So
Sure did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're real proud of him. You know, he's a great guy, and
we had Ethan on our podcast when Hobie came to Florida or earlier this year. So yeah, we hope to have him back on at some point this year and talk with him.
I got a question for you, John, on your timber crawl, and I know you told me this once before. When they're connected, you can use that almost like a swim bait in a way, or you tell me I can't remember exactly what you told me, but there was couple different ways you could use it with it being connected and disconnected.
Yeah. So, well, depending too, if you like to flip creature baits and craws quite a bit, or beavers, what I wanted was something I could throw all season. And usually when you start early in the season, you know, you want more. You don't want a lot of kicking. You want more of something that's just kind of falling, and it's a big profile, and they'll just suck it in. Well, if you keep those together, it's going to stay together more of like one unit, like a beaver. And also, what you're saying there is you can put this on the back of a chatterbait, keep it together on a vertical position, and it'll do more of it'll stay pivot, and it'll just stay together like this kind of it creates a little extra vibration. But it's different than the craw kick. So what you do is once you remove this, now it's going to kick like a speed craw. But if you keep it together and flip it like this, it's going to have more of a tendency to kind of fall like a tube or like a beaver style bait. And the reason I call it timber craw is I flip a lot of wood with it. But that's really the main thing is when you get them out of the package, here, and I don't have it stickered, but they come together, and then you can take them apart. See, like with this buzz bait, what I do here is I pinch off the little arms on the side. And then all you do then is you take this piece, you pop the top. So you pop this part right here. And then there's 4 little spots here that pop. Boom. And now you got kickers versus more of a beaver style. If that makes sense. Yeah. And this gives, I'll even skip this. This particular buzzbait has a flat head, and this is how I throw. This is such a good workhorse. Anybody that loves buzzbaits, I mean, you can make this thing a workhorse. You can throw around docks, skipping under docks, along wood, grass if it doesn't have, you know, the junk that always gets caught in your blades, but more sparse grass. And that right here just gives it a great profile, and I haven't had any issues with big fish wanting that right there. Yeah. That's a good bait to have.
Seen a few pictures out there.
Yeah.
And we'll throw this out there real quick. If you're not following Torrent Bait on social media, go ahead and throw that out there, John, all your different social media, so people can jump on and follow you. And we'll also throw it in again at the end.
Okay.
So you can see all this nice fish that John's been catching, not only, you know, in Tennessee, but he'll take a nice long trip up north and catch not only just some good largemouth and smallmouth, but many other species as well.
Yeah, actually, what's funny is I won a Northern Pike Division drop shot in my 4.0. Caught one just a hair under 35 inches on the drop shot.
Nice.
But yeah, it's torrentoutdoors.com for the website. And then on Facebook, it's Torrent Outdoors. So it's TORRENT. For those who don't know what torrent is, it's like a rush of water, like torrential rain. Just, you know, I wanted to use a word that kind of had this idea of like a rush of water. So it's a natural description of nature with water. But then Instagram is Torrent Outdoors Fishing. So those are basically the 3 main things. And if
we'll link that in our posts and stuff too, immediately following this live.
Yeah, and if you go to Torrent Outdoors on Facebook, you'll see my profile picture is with one of my heroes, and it's a guy named Hank Parker. And Hank Parker actually, I was at a event with him. It was a ministry event, and I was set up with the lures, and he bought several of my big swim baits. And so that's pretty cool, man. It's a fisherman's dream to watch some of your heroes, and then he picking up the plastics and messing with them. And he actually bought, not in this color, he bought the Thresher 6.5, my big swim bait. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool right there. Hank Parker, good guy.
That is awesome.
Good Christian man. Yeah. So I have a question for you guys. So where do you start the year off next month?
Fellsmere.
Yeah, we got the headwaters, Fellsmere, and Stick Marsh on October 14th, which is you talk about grass and hydrilla. For headwaters side, and there's every type of grass you could think of to man. And then over in the Stick Marsh side, it's a little bit more, it's open, but they just seeded a lot of grass in there. So there's a lot more than there was last year when we opened it up there. It's the same body of water that we went to last year to start the season. We had a really good turnout. So we're going to start the season back there this year and hope for the same results. So.
Yeah, then that makes me, I just got to thinking of what I would throw this time of year. So you're talking, this can be October. What happens in Florida in October? Do you get kind of the push of bait as well?
I'll let Sean, you're muted. I'll let you talk on that.
I mean, Bailey can talk it right now. There's, in certain spots, there's a lot of bait fish schooling up. It's right now the bait's really small in certain spots, but I know Chris fished a body of water where they're feeding on big bait, and headwaters actually it's really really tiny shad and minnows. I don't know what they are, glass minnows or whatnot. So they're really keen on that really small bait on headwaters exactly right now. So we were downsizing a little bit, but also they're pushing bait, so you can almost throw a top water also.
But I'm telling you, in about 7 minutes, you can catch 7 fish, and they're not small fish. If you're in the right spot at the right time, that's how they turn on. So I was having a rough day. I went to one little spot, wind was blowing in the right direction, and I threw Thunder Cricket with a Torrent, the 4.0 striker on the back, and in 7 minutes I had a 21.5 was my biggest, but nice. they were all within 5, 6, 7 minutes of one another, or 5 to 7 minutes total, but they were one cast after another. And they were feeding right before a storm front moved in. But yeah,
and the pattern's starting to change a little bit. Where this summer, where it's just flat calm all summer, we fished 2 weekends in a row, and it blew 25 all day. One day, like probably 15 to 25, and then the next weekend it was fairly calm, but the wind picked up and it stayed picked up for a while. So it really concentrated the bait, and they're kind of keen on small bait in most areas, but a little bit bigger bait in others.
Gotcha.
It's a fun time, but yeah, top water is going to play a huge role in October, especially if you're fishing headwaters the way that it is now, it's completely different than how it was last year in some of the areas. But top water, a buzzbait could play very well. I haven't thrown a buzzbait out there. Actually, I did, and it was too heavy of a buzzbait, so I ordered a couple more that I'm going to rig up, and go out there and try to see how that works. But frog was really, really good out there.
Are you punching?
Not me. But
yeah. No answer. No response to that right now.
I better stop, man. I better stop. Huh?
I do not punch, and let me just tell you, I don't punch. But
he paid the price for not punching, because it's actually everything's kind of good. But
yes, it's decent. You can throw anything out there and catch fish.
So
for sure.
The reason I ask, because we're kind of in the same thing. We're getting that bait starting to move a little bit. And I have, for those who are new to Torrent Outdoors, I have what's called a Thresher 4.2, and it's a new style swim bait. It's got more of a slender approach. And then I add this kicker on the back. So you got a paddle tail Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a paddle tail, and then you got this like it's like a knife blade off the back, and you can break it down and change it. So this is a great trailer for chatterbaits, or if you want to just throw like a belly weighted hook. But one thing I designed it for, and I want to show you guys, and I think I showed this on the last time, is that I designed it so you can pull the paddle tail off. So what you have here is like a straight tail now. So here you got your paddle tail and you get your kick. Here's a straight tail. And there's a couple things you can do this with a straight tail. I was a big fan of scroungers for a while. They got real hot. It was just like a muted version of a chatterbait, but with a scrounger, you had to have a straight tail. Otherwise it messed up the action. So if you guys are interested in downsizing and you got smaller bait, you can do something like this with a scrounger. Another thing I love to do, actually, have you guys heard of the donkey rig?
Yeah.
The two fluke?
The fluke?
Yes. So I actually take 2 of these Thresher 4.2s, take the paddle tails off, and I rig it as a donkey rig.
Oh, wow.
2 fluke series. And what you can do too, if you want to control it a little bit, if you're doing like, let's say a screw lock version of like a 2 or 3/0 hook, if you need to get it down a little bit more, what you could do is you could take a nail weight and stick it in one of their bellies or in both. And you can weigh that down and get them snapping. I mean, and if you just give a couple snaps and just kind of let it work, this will get you a lot of bites.
So that you bring the 4.2 up there, the Thresher. I went out fishing on Sunday after we went to Headwaters, and I pair that with a spinnerbait.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, that absolutely crushed them on Sunday. I to the point to where I was an idiot and didn't tie off, and I lost a giant, like 8 to 9 pounder, snapped me off and took my spinnerbait and my last Thresher that I had with me. And yeah, it broke my heart, but I learned one thing: to always retie after you catch 20 or 30 fish on a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
But 2, that combination is also deadly. Where we were at, so
it's very deadly, and that's all I use on my spinnerbaits now.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy that has what's called Thunder Rocket lures, and so he's got this patented thing right here. It's like a replacement of the blade, but it's got 2 chambers in it with BBs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I like to throw, basically like a spinnerbait, and I'll throw you can see the Thresher 4.2s on there. This one actually is my royalty color. If you can see it, it's got a little purple flake in it. But this is a great way to throw this around. He's got this one's in a clear blade. And sometimes what I like to do when I'll take the skirt off and I'll put the Thresher 6.5 on that.
Oh, jeez.
And that's a big old bait right there. And they're not afraid to eat big baits. Let me tell you. You know, growing up in Wisconsin, fishing for bass or fishing for muskie, throwing these big baits, and I'd catch small bass. To me, they're just predators, man. And sometimes you can match the hatch, and sometimes you can just go crazy and go giant. And you're starting to see that more with those big glide baits and getting those big fish to move up. So something I would throw too, if someone's on here, I would be throwing something like this. I'd be throwing around the grass and stuff and hitting the stalks. This is my Thresher 6.5. So just a side by side. Here's a Thresher 4.2, which is 4.2 inches, and this is 6.5. And what I have it rigged on here is a screw lock it's a 7/0 hook. And then I got just a little weight with one of these little blades. And I mean, you could get yourself some big bites on there. I'm waiting for the guys in Florida to start throwing this because it's gonna work for somebody.
It works for me, sir.
It's gonna work. The other thing about it, guys, if you look at a lot of my baits have these ribs, and a lot of that too is for scent retention. If you use like scent sticks, or it just is a good transition to give you a transition point for action. But I have a smooth top because I love to skip this. I love to skip this as far as I can under a dock and slow roll it and You'll be surprised how many big ones hang under the back of a dock on a hot day.
We've got a question on here for you, John. That
Yes,
want to
sir.
know, do you make the thresher in a black and blue like the timber crow?
I don't, and that's definitely a good color. The only thing I could encourage you is just dip this in blue. That's all I really can do right now. The way my business works is I really am focusing on design, and then I release colors as I go. So with this, we just had basically I wanted to stay shad pattern, but I know I get a lot of requests for like a bluegill. We do have an olive shad. I think I may have some with me here. I'll dive in. An olive shad would be like this color, if you can see it. It's got kind of a olive green on top, and then it's got kind of this like grayish pearl body on the belly. And what I do with this one is I'll hit it down, I'll stripe it down with a chartreuse line. So you got a little color in the water, either white or even dip this little spot right here. When I go muskie fishing a lot, I'll even dip this little spot right here. And I know you guys don't care about muskie, but I'm just saying.
I'm going to try to make you bigger if I can, John.
I don't need to be any bigger, man. I'm trying to. No, that's
Yeah, I want to make you the
bad joke there.
Not Todd, you're big now. There he is.
There it is.
we go.
Yeah. So here, I'll just pull it out real quick. This is my olive shad color. This is a great color. It's a real natural color. But what I encourage people to do sometimes when you got this bait, if you got just a little color in the water, you take one of the spike it markers and just stripe down the side, like where they come together, right here and give them something to key on. And or if you dye this right here, just this tip, it's going to give a flash almost like a blade. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm sorry to answer your question. I do not have it in black and blue. I in a perfect world, I'd offer 100 colors in them. But one thing I have a philosophy in life to not go in debt. So as the business grows, I reinvest in things that are really helping people catch fish, and I release new colors as I grow. So with that said, a timber craw is going to have a new color. So that will be coming out soon. I think.
Are you at liberty to say yet, or is it still quiet?
Yeah, I'll do it. So I went ahead and did white original. So we wanted a white that where you can throw on a chatterbait. I prefer this. I love this on a buzzbait. I'm telling you guys, this is the only way I throw a buzzbait, and it works. Tennessee all the way up to northern Wisconsin, and I'm sure it would work in Florida. So I wanted a white, and then of course you got your green pumpkin. When you start a new business with new baits, a lot of people will try a green pumpkin, you know what I mean, for the first time, and then black and blue. But my favorite color, personal color, is what I'm going to release, and it's called the Lazy Gill. And the Lazy Gill is a green pumpkin with like a blue flash. Do I have that with me is the question.
You make you make that in the Striker?
Yes.
4.0?
Yes, the Striker 4.0. That's one of my best sellers now. So I wish, is there any way, Todd, you could pull it up on the website when we get a chance?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to pull up the Lazy Gill color?
If you want, real quick, John, we had a question here too from Hunter Taylor asking, can you buzz the thresher on top? And yes.
Yes. All right. So this big one right here, I designed it to also be used as a wake bait or to buzz it across the top. I would just go ahead and get yourself a 7/0, and you could go weightless, or you could just do a smaller weight, like an 1/8 ounce keel. I think Gambler makes really good hooks that make like the 7/0 and 8/0, and they have smaller weight. What I find a lot of times is you try to get a big old hook and they put a big old weight on it. But you can buzz this thing. When I first tested it, again, this is a species you probably don't really care about. When I first tested this thing in northern Wisconsin, I could not keep the northern pike off of it. I was running it through lily pads, And I mean, the first time out, I had like 18 northern pike. I mean, just exploding it. And that also, I caught, largemouth with it too. So you can buzz this across the top. And if you got to make sure you rig it straight. But I created this so when you buzz it, it doesn't roll over like some swim baits.
So I buzzed the thresher, the 6.5 thresher with there's there's another lake that we fish in Central Florida that has some Kissimmee grass, or what I guess is Kissimmee grass that's kind of was overgrown. We had some storms come in, and it had a lot of water in it. I threw it on there, and it's a very good bait to just burn through some of the Kissimmee grass and the lily pads, and the bass just come up and explode on it. Caught a ton of bass with. I have no more. I have to place another order to get some. So we're about to place a big order with Jon this week for giving away some baits at our upcoming events this year too. So you guys are going to be able to get some of these baits in your hand for free. So it's going to be awesome.
This is the color you're looking for, right, Jon?
Yep. That's I call it. It's my personal color called the Lazy Gill. What I wanted to do was something different. I think it was called a magic craw, where you have more of a watermelon seed and like a blue. I wanted a pretty good contrast, so I have my darker green pumpkin on one side and a blue flash. And you guys know, like, that's bluegill right there. That's craw. Different times of the year, that's shad. I mean, but it just to me, the contrast of it. You see blue, you don't see blue with green pumpkin, and I think that really flashes, especially when that time when the bluegill starts spawning too. I mean, it can be deadly. And throw that in the back of a green pumpkin chatterbait. Yeah. You guys, I'm telling you, get yourself a little 1/4 ounce chatterbait with that on the back, or a little 3/8, and get like a little green pumpkin skirt. I probably shouldn't be saying these things, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm glad that we're giving them away after the Fellsmere Stick Marsh event.
Hey, I ship fast.
Hey, so and since we're talking about that too, if you guys are wanting to purchase some of their products, one, you can find them on their social media, but also going to www.torrentoutdoors.com. And we have, as a member, you have them. It is in the members only group page. So if you guys would like to make a purchase leading up into the first event, utilize that code and go and purchase the heck out of some of his products. So
yeah. And I had the great fortune of being one of the very first to get that gill color. So I just happened to be dropping off some stuff at Jon's house, and he's like, "Check out my new color." I'm like, "I need some of those."
Yes, so if you look at the timber, okay, that you can stop there for a second. So that's a tungsten head, and I designed it to fit the Striker 4.0 like to the T. So when you rig that thing, it's gonna give you can kind of follow this head, come out just at that first ring, and you're gonna come back through down at the base of the thicker part, and it's gonna hold that hook really well. I sponsor a lot of high school fishing teams around here, and those kids, man, they love that little head with the little Striker 4.0, because they're going to lakes they've never been to, and some of them are new to fishing. And I'll give a shout out. There's a guy named Ron Holt. He's one of the boat captains at Mount Juliet fishing team. And I mean, this guy he's gotten, I can't tell you how many hundreds and hundreds of these jigs, and he'll just pass them out to kids, and he'll get a green kid in his boat, and he'll put that in their hands, and he'll just tell them the fish is slow, and they get bites. Once the kids start getting bites, they get some confidence. They start believing that they can go out and catch fish, and it's a pretty cool confidence bait. But I'm like Sean. I do a lot of drop shotting, and matter of fact, I had a tournament Saturday, and I probably caught about 20 of them on this drop shot. So that's cool. But you guys ever use wobble heads? Do you guys have much offshore structure you would drag on or not? Is that another question you can't answer?
No, I have wobble heads. I don't personally use them. I mean, if I was fishing rock or something else, maybe, but I don't. I did in Lake Hartwell on Lake Hartwell. I threw it. But
it depends on the body of water. I mean, even on Okeechobee, you can drag rock with a wobble head. I've done it a lot in the Rim Canal. Point up those cutout portions of Lake Okeechobee for the boat lanes is really there's a lot of rock in that lake actually, and I've thrown a lot of like big shaky heads and wobble heads there actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's the other thing I had in mind when I designed the timber craw. If you guys see, this is a cylindrical body. I wanted something more tubular, and so this is more of a cylindrical body. And this is, I believe, this is a 4/0 flipping hook, but I actually throw this on the wobble head a lot. You can either drag it like a Carolina rig, or if you have shallower rock points and stuff, you can get it to the bottom and slow roll it, and it's just like a craw, just scoot to the bottom. So, but yeah, here's that. I just found one. Obviously, look, I used it, cut off the line, but I made that head right here to go perfect. You just go down the head right here under the first ring right there, and then you just push it down and it locks in right at the top perfectly.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then you can see where the hook comes out. You come down here, the hook's right above that, basically right above a couple of those rings, and you got plenty of space. And if you're new to fishing and you don't want to get hung up, or even if you are old to fishing, don't want to get hung up, you can pull that up and just put that hook down in that ring, and now you got it exposed. And so you got and that's why I started with the wide gap hook, because I knew a lot of people are going to be throwing this in like brush piles and stuff. And so if you got that exposed and around weeds, and you're not going to get hung up as much.
Yeah.
Like unlike a traditional style. And this could be kind of a leading into the future bait coming. Unlike a traditional style tungsten head with a little weed guard.
Nice.
So
nice. Well, I actually used that tungsten head that you had, not only for the Striker 4.0, but I also use it on just as a shaky head. I mean, I love it more as a shaky head than I do, the true shaky head hooks. So
good. I'm glad. That's awesome. Do you do it like on a bigger worm?
Yeah. I actually put a Cinco on it.
Nice.
And it works fantastic. I probably shouldn't say that, but it actually really works really good.
I mean, even the jig, Chris was with me up on Lake Hartwell up in South Carolina. We were flipping the jig, but I had it shaved down as a finesse jig. I trimmed the skirt up and put just a small striker on the back of it, and was flipping docks with that jig, catching spots off docks. I don't know if that's how do you rig your jig? Are you using that striker with that little tungsten finesse flipping jig?
So yeah, on my website, and I don't have many left. I have 1/4 ounce tungsten skirted jigs that get sold with a Striker 4.0, and you can pop off like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, and that gives it a nice little stand up, with the skirted. A lot of times if I'm flipping the timber craws, if I rip this up from Texas rigging, I keep these as jig trailers.
Okay.
So I flip this a lot. I love the skip. I do have skirted tungsten jigs on the website. Those are things I just use, and I put them on the website. They don't sell as much for some reason, but I'll tell you what, they skip so well. They are so sensitive. And that 1/4 ounce, I don't have, like I said, I'm almost sold out. Yeah, see, that was a little pack that you get a 1/4 ounce tungsten skirted jig with a pack of the Striker 4.0s for a pretty good deal. Yep, there you go. There's a little flash. And you can actually get away with throwing it on a good spinning rod too. So I know sometimes that helps to switch back and forth, especially in a kayak fishing. Save your shoulders quite a bit. But can I back up? I was saying this earlier, that you guys fishing around that sparse grass and you're trying to keep them in place. This is a great way to do this, because then you just stick. I don't know if you can see this, but I made it flat so you could stick in one of these like nail weight type deals, I can't remember. This might be Z-Man. But it's a harder one, so I can feel it hit the rocks or whatnot. And then I got just like this. I believe this is Trocar. It's a Trocar hook with just like little weed guards. Trying to put it where you can see it. I'm sorry.
And I'll give while we're on here, I'll give a little shout out to one of our newer sponsors, which is Spearpoint. So you might have to check them out, John. Spearpoint Hooks. They're one of our new sponsors coming on board this year. So
awesome.
That might be a good one for you to check out as well.
Might be pairing some of your 6.0s with some of their hooks. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
We had Amy Brown just sitting here. She ordered some goodies off your website. So
all right, yeah. Good deal. Once I'm done here, I'll get that put together for you. Thank
you. He'll put his child labor to work.
Hey,
yeah, you might get a picture. You might get a picture with his kids packaging your boxes, which is awesome. I think that's fantastic, John. Your family, you're just following you on Facebook for the past year and kind of seeing where this Torrent out where your company has gone has just been exciting. So we're happy that you chose our club to kind of help grow it for here down in Florida. And we definitely do our best to put your baits in our anglers' hands. Each event last year, once you came on board, when we were putting your baits and we're giving them away, pretty much handing them out for free. And at the championship as well, we gave a ton of your baits away. So a lot of our anglers here watching today are using them and are being successful with them. So if you guys order stuff off of his website and you're catching fish, share that with him.
Yeah.
Find him on social media, friend him and send him some pictures so that or send him some if you have any insight or any ideas or anything, just send it John's way. I'm sure he'd be willing to listen to you on what's working in Florida. So.
I got a question for you, John.
Yeah.
Do you run the page, the Tennessee page, that the 6-pounder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we post our Florida 6-pound plus on the Tennessee page?
That's too easy for you guys.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I'm here to tell you it's not easy.
No, I started that because I just think, especially in Tennessee, if you break 6 pounds anywhere, but in Tennessee, I really wanted to start documenting quality fish like that. So if you go to that page, we got some really nice fish being caught in Tennessee. So
that's awesome.
There was one there was a 9 almost pushing 10 just caught in Tennessee. And
really, where was that at?
That was on the Tennessee River somewhere.
Nice.
Probably
Chickamauga.
I can't disclose everything.
Yeah.
No, I do. So here's the thing. If you do send me something, just let me know if you want to keep it quiet. I mean, I do run a business and I want people to know what people are catching them on. But if you also want to just share and say, hey, thanks. Do you mind keeping this hush? And I will. I won't put a picture with the Striker 6.0 plum hanging out of its mouth if you're in the middle of a tournament or something. I usually do that. Like if the kids will send me something, hey, we're really killing them on the 4.0s. And I say, do you want me to wait till after your tournament? And they're like, yeah, would you do that, please? So, hey, I'm a fisherman myself. Fortunately, it pays to talk about it now because it's my lures. But in the past, it's like the drop shot of crankbait. I don't know. Just making up stuff I'm catching.
That's awesome. If you ever come down to Florida, man, we'd love to have you come out and fish an event with us, or just go, not even an event, just go fishing with us. And you get to put the test down here in Florida. So there's a couple bodies of waters, and we got a bunch of great anglers in our club that will put you on some fish. So it'll be a good time. So.
Yeah. And I just moved next to a couple of really good bodies of water too. So I kind of sit between Panisofsky and Lake Harris now. So it's maybe 15 minutes to each lake. So
well, we have nice. Two new baits probably coming out in the next year and a half. So one is definitely Florida worthy.
Okay. But we'll have to do a release. We'll bring you back on and let you release it, and we'll try them out.
Yeah, the next bait is going to, and I can kind of give you a heads up. The next bait is going to really tap into that. It's a hybrid with, let's just face it, live scope is real popular. So I wanted to make a bait that you could really utilize with live scope. And, oh, I like that. Sorry, I just saw Torrent Baits open.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely been talks of us doing baits for some of our sponsors, just doing a boat ramp beatdowns or doing a tournament where it's just strictly Torrent, or we have Toad Thumper, which is a frog company.
Yeah,
that top on board. So we wanted to do a frog only, and then we could also do a Torrent baits only as well. So that'd be a cool sponsored event. So.
Well, I better start making some more Florida baits too.
You should. Yeah. Well, hey, we'll do it for sure. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, not the next one, but the next one, our team guy, Ethan Jett, is really fired up about. So don't pry him too hard.
I'll get it out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. The next bait is going to be able to do kind of Ned rig, hover bait, all of the above type thing. So
it's like starts with an M and ends with an O.
No.
John, I'll trade you some shirts for your next Florida bait for me to test out.
Yeah, that's the deal. I look forward. Todd's makes some great stuff. I got some shirts coming, and we actually just opened. There's a bait shop in town that just opened up, and they've been selling the fire out of my baits, and I'm really thankful. And we are actually going to do, that was a soft opening. We're going to do a grand opening. I think they're doing with a food truck and stuff. I don't want to misspeak, but I think that's on the 20. I think it's a Saturday, the 23rd. Does that sound right? I think that's September.
Saturday is the 23rd of September.
Okay. So we're doing a grand opening, and a lot of my guys will have some nice sun hoodies from Mr. Todd with Torrent Outdoors. And so we appreciate what you do, Todd, for us. And
he does a lot for a lot of folks around here and in the kayak fishing community, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
And when you see carpet decals in those bass boats that say Torrent Outdoors, it's Todd. So Todd, thank you. Those go down the road. Those go down 70 miles an hour on the lake. I mean, a lot of fish slime on them. So
and you don't slip on them.
No, it's got a little grit to it. So
well, that's awesome, John, man. It was fantastic having you back on the show, and we look forward to having a great year with you, and hopefully we can bring you back on if you plan on introducing anything new. But we'd love to talk a little bit more about possibly doing one of those Torrent only baits events somewhere down the road, or maybe for that bait, maybe doing something in that regard. So
that'd be cool.
Again, you guys go check out John with Torrent Outdoors. We'll post it all on our members only. We do have a discount code, so make sure you're utilizing that. And you guys are just going out there and supporting our sponsors that support us. And we can't thank you enough, John, for continuing to stay with us this year. So,
well, thanks for the time, guys. And I'll jump off. I know you got kayak business to take care of. So
yeah, people are over here hounding me for certain information. So I'm going to get shot if I don't talk about it here for at least 10 minutes.
All right. Well, I hope I didn't take up too much time, but thank you.
Thank you for coming on, John. As always, it's great to see you, buddy. Great talking with you, and I'm sure we'll talk this next week.
All right, have a good one.
Appreciate having you on, sir.
Have a good one, sir. All right. So let's see if the crowd is still here. We got 20 folks, and there are some feathers that have been ruffled in the comment sections in regards to I say feathers. I'm just being over dramatic because let's be real, that's how I am. But there have been some questions dropped in here. There's emails that's been pushed out. So real quick, for the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to cover a lot. I have Todd, who's going to introduce the layout and plan ahead for the team jerseys that I've been getting a lot of inquiries about. So Todd's going to take over here in just a minute and kind of introduce that process to you and how that's going to work for this year. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about Fishing Chaos, registration for the first event on October 14th, address a rule update, and a little bit about some important information. And then Sean's going to talk about some of the details in regards to the first event on Fellsmere Headwaters Stick Marsh area. So I'll get started real quick. To address Curtis Yaklovich, he made a comment and about the no practice the week before rule. Love the awesome new schedule. So if you guys haven't checked out our members only page, we have updated or posted the most up-to-date schedule for the 2023-2024 season, to include the two Bass Nation events that we're co-hosting. Okay. There's been a lot of talk in regards to the practice period rule and how is that going to play when we co-host an event with Bass Nation. We're going to be working with the Florida Bass Nation. And for those two events, we're going to allow that pre-fishing time to not pretty much play a part in those two events, so that folks can participate in both, right? So we're trying to get folks to participate in our club, but also with the Florida Bass Nation, right? They're both in their own rights really great kayak bass fishing tournament trails, and both kind of had their own unique opportunities. So with that, we're going to continue to work with the other Bass Nation trails on a combined rule, so everyone's on the same page. There's nothing drastic or nothing different, to where it's a seamless event where you can go out and you can just have fun and fish. Right.
Yeah,
So
probably the only thing, one of the big differences will be they use Tourney X and we use Fishing Chaos.
yes. Yep. So that will be the only, I say challenge, but it's not a challenge because I fish Tourney X events strictly and I fish Fishing Chaos events simultaneously. It's easy. But we're encouraging our members to participate in the Florida Bass Nation Series events just as much as I hope that those guys are encouraging their folks to come and fish our events. However, I know that there's been some individuals that are upset in regards to that week, the no pre-fishing situation with pre-fishing ending on Sunday. We gave that opportunity. We left that up to our members. If you were a paid member for the 2024 season, you had a voice, and that voice spoke, and Sunday was the ending of pre-fishing. So that is where we're at right now with the 2024 season. I'm excited about that rule. I think it's going to do great things for us. And next year, if it doesn't, we'll readdress it and we'll reassess that situation, and we will make the best decision that we think that needs to be made for the club. So I know that we can't make everyone happy, but we are in the business of making the majority of our anglers happy. We don't sleep at night. We spend a lot of hours talking on the phone away from our own families, making sure that we're making the right decisions for this trail so that we can maximize participation across the board. So the one good thing we like to pride ourselves on is we like to put a lot of, the decision making back onto our members, right? You guys are paying to fish this trail. And we want to make sure that you guys are fishing a trail that you guys want to be a part of. And we're going to continue to put forth that product each and every day to make sure that you guys are enjoying your time while out on the water, and have the best possible chance at catching, that dream bag. So hopefully that addresses that question. As far as when we're co-hosting event, yes, that pre-fishing time will be not there. So it will go in line with whatever comes up. There are going to be rules posted for those events during before and during the captain's meeting. So for those two specific events, but for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail regular season events, that pre-fishing rule is in effect. I did send an email out this afternoon to everybody who is a paid Florida Kayak Bass Trail member. It was 54 individuals on that email. And I also posted it on our members only page. The rules are there. However, there are two items that was brought to my attention by one of the members that are needing to be changed. Sean was working on those right before we went live today. So we're making those changes and addressing those, what we just kind of looked over. When you're looking at a set of rules for months on end, things sort of blend, and we looked over one or two things. So we just made those small changes. And I will go ahead and address what those changes were. And they were words. It was just adding some verbiage. So for any contestant who wishes to withdraw from the event is eligible for a 90% refund of their entry fee, provided notification of cancellation is made no later than 24 hours prior to the start of the event. So you have to make sure that if you have a family emergency last year, someone called me on their way and said, "Hey, I have to turn around. Can I get a refund?" I refunded them. Right. But please give us that 24-hour notice prior to lines in. So for the majority of the events are around 6:30, 7 o'clock. So make sure that you give us plenty of, if you can, give us a heads up so that we can issue your refund, so we can update payouts to the members. The next one was, there was asking about the rule about fishing from a bass boat during pre-fishing time. Yes, that is a 21-day period, right? And I'll let Sean talk a little bit more about that whenever that comes up. But yes, we did address that as well, and that change was being inputted into the rules, and I will send that out tomorrow. So again, we ask for you to read those. If you notice anything's off or it just doesn't sound right, we ask you to send that to us, and bring it to our attention, and we will make those corrections as we need to. So we really do appreciate your guys' feedback. Like, we honestly do. Me, Todd, and Sean, and Chris Clutter, we talk. I talk more to these guys than I do my own wife on the daily basis. And I can't thank you guys enough for how much work and effort you guys put into this trail to make it as a success as it is. On that email that I sent to you guys, there is a liability waiver on there. If I do not have your liability waiver on file on October 14th before lines in, you cannot compete in that event. That liability waiver is in an email. Once you become a member, you're going to get an email with the rules and the waiver, and a bunch of other information. These files can also be found on our members only page. If you go up to the top of our members only page and you scroll, there's a files section. If you click on that files section, you will see our identifier card printout that you can print out. You'll see our updated rules. You'll see our liability waiver on there. There are some from last year that are currently on there that I'm going to have to go in and delete, so that you guys are making sure that you guys are following the most current up-to-date rules and identifier. So just kind of sit tight on that. Utilize your email and the members only page that I just posted, and you'll be good to go. So I covered the rules, the liability waivers, Fishing Chaos. We have 18 new members. When I say new members, we have 18 anglers that have signed up for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail that were not a member last year. So what that question rose to me was, how familiar are these anglers with Fishing Chaos? So what we're going to do is we're going to screen record how to videos on how to edit entries, how to use Fishing Chaos, and we're going to post those onto our members only page. For those anglers that might be new to Fishing Chaos, we're going to try to streamline that process for you. Just sit tight. We're all busy. We're trying to work on getting this season started. We are working on how to. So if you are not familiar with Fishing Chaos and you need a rundown like ASAP, one, I would encourage you to sign up for our monthly right now, and practice. Use it as a practice. What I might be able to do is create a practice fishing tournament, a free tournament that you can register and you can practice. If that's something you guys are interested in, drop that in the comment section below, or send me a message, and I can create a practice tournament where you guys can go in and upload pictures, practice taking pictures, uploading, editing, doing all that sort of thing. So just give me your feedback on that, and I don't mind doing it. So Fishing Chaos, the tournament for October 14th, registration is open. Registration opened at 6:30 this afternoon. So if you guys are ready, we'd love for you guys to get in there and register early. It is open to all members that are currently registered for the 23-24 season. So we are excited about the Headwaters Fellsmere Stick Marsh tournament. Last year it was our largest attendance. We had 48 anglers on the water last year.
Let's break that this year.
Yeah, let's break that. That's our goal, is to break that. We're working with our sponsors to have some good products there at the closing ceremony, at the award ceremony. So we're gonna have Todd's checks are gonna be there too. We're gonna have some products from Torrent Outdoors. We're working with a couple of our other major sponsors to have some good product there to give away. So it should be a great time. Fishing Chaos has several YouTube vids as well. Yes, David, they do. They definitely do. If you go to YouTube, type in Fishing Chaos, how to do this, they're there as well. So you can utilize those. But yeah, most definitely, if you need help, let us know. We're here to help you and assist you in any way that we can. With that, Fishing Chaos, our monthly right now, is doing really well. I think we have 13 anglers in the monthly. A quick update on that. Starting October 1st, if you register to fish those monthlies, remember the only eligible waters starting from October till the end of our championship are going to be lakes that are on our schedule. So when our judges are going in there and they're accepting your fish, there's a list of bodies of water that you're authorized to be on. If you're submitting fish from an unauthorized body of water that's not on our schedule, you guys, those fish will be denied. So please pay attention to that. Again, why did we do that? Pretty simple. Encouraging you guys to pre-fish those bodies, clear with those bodies of water before we fish those events. Seeing as we did we didn't shorten pre-fishing because we gave you a list of the lakes. You guys can go out and pre-fish them as much as you want up until the Sunday before the tournament. So this monthly opportunity, you're going to have a way to win if you don't do well in the regular season events, if you participate in these monthlies and you win and you do well, there's going to be opportunities for you to win your way into the championship at the end of the year. So one where you're going out pre-fishing these lakes, you catch a lot of good fish, you can win some money that way. On top of that, it's a way for us to fundraise and put a little bit money into the bank for the FKBT championship. As well, right? So folks kept asking, hey, how much money is going towards the championship? Well, we're putting away a good chunk. Will the body of water be eligible for the monthly after the regular event? Yes. So that whatever body of water is on our schedule this year, those bodies of water will remain eligible all the way up until the championship. So you guys, good question. I forgot where I was at when I answered it, though.
We have one person registered so far.
Perfect. Who is it?
Me.
Fantastic.
I'm in first place.
I see liability forms coming into my email right now, so I appreciate you guys getting those signed, getting those submitted to me. I honestly forgot where I was just at with what I was just saying.
Not to interrupt. Sorry, I had to take a call from work, but
you're good.
So you covered what defined official practice period, right?
No, I'm letting you talk on that. I just said that we addressed that you were addressing it. So yeah, you can address that here in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I just heard you highlighting specifically cancellations within 24 hours prior to the event. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. No worries. So with those monthlies, Lloyd, I appreciate that feedback for the great monthly format. If you guys want to see something on the monthly, if you guys want to do MLF style, unlimited inches, if you want to do, whatever you guys want to do, that is an opportunity for us to be creative. Let us know if you guys want to do just biggest bass, one single bass, different challenges, different baits, whatever it is, just let me know. And we can make it work. It's been fantastic. It's been a great opportunity. Doug has done well. Evan Fracasto has won. And it's been fairly, it's been really fun. Me, Sean, and Todd, and a lot of us have been out there fishing and having a good time. I haven't won any yet, unfortunately. Hopefully this is my month. I'm chasing the big fish, but yeah, man, we're trying to do a lot more for this club. We're giving you guys 9 regular season events. Okay. That's a fantastic opportunity for you guys to qualify for this year's championship. And I recall where I was at for championship. So the monthlies that we're doing, we are putting the past 2 months, we've been able to put like $65 towards the championship fund already for 23 and 24. So that's $120 that's been able to be put aside to go towards the championship and Angler of the Year pot for this year. And that's with both months being like 11 anglers signed up. I think this month we have 13. So the more we get signed up in those monthlies, the more money that we'll be able to set aside to go towards the angler or the championship of the angler of the year, as well as the prize packages that they're already going to be getting based off of our sponsorships. So we got 3 signed up so far. So you guys keep signing up. Let's make this first event an absolute blowout of what we did last year. Let's try to get over that 50 to 60 angler mark for our first event. But honestly, I challenge us as a club to try to stay and hover around that 30 to 50 angler mark, at all of these events. The more participation we get, the higher the payout is. We pride ourselves on how much we're able to put it back into the pot at each event. And still have a really good turnout for the championship, or a really good payout for the championship. So let us continue to do our part and talk to our sponsors and do the best that we can for you guys. And you guys just come out and show up and fish and have a good time. So we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the season. I'm going to turn it over to Todd. I'm going to let you talk, Todd, real quick on what you got to show, and then Sean will wrap it up with you and rules.
All right. Sorry, everyone, we're going over a little bit longer, but there was a lot to fit in on this show tonight. So team jerseys, I know we've been asked a lot about that, and we've been working trying to get some people that can actually do us really, really professional shirts. So I talked to my old club guys back in Tennessee, and they do some really nice pro jerseys, right? And so I reached out to Wildwear America and talked to the girl there, and she is going to get us set up with the design, and I'll be able to get that out to y'all here pretty soon. So what we'll have is we'll have a website, and I'm going to share what they set up for the club back in Tennessee, which is KBFTN, and kind of show you what their jerseys look like. And this is what we can expect ours to, look like, and to an extent with what we're giving them to design for us. So you can see how good of a job that this company really does for us. And with this site, it will allow you, our anglers, to go on and order them for yourself, right? You can go in, and if you have particular sponsors that sponsor you, we'll have some spots on there where you can upload their logo to be able to print on your jersey. If you fish out of a particular kayak and you want to have that brand on your jersey, you can have that particular kayak. So let's say I'm fish out of a Hobie, I'll have Hobie on my jersey, right? If you have Old Town, you can have Old Town, whatever it is, native, you can have that on there.
You can also put the other bass trails that you fish here in the Central Florida area on that jersey as well. You don't just have to have FKBT. There's going to be spots for you to put Florida Bass Nation. There's going to be spots for you to put Slay Nation, Sunday Slammer, whatever it is that you want, you got it.
Absolutely. The one thing that they do ask for is that you provide them with a vector format of the logo. They do a lot of these. They do a lot for Bass Nation here in Florida. They do a lot of jerseys here. So they probably will already have a lot of these logos already, but they do ask if you can provide a vector format or a very high resolution of their logo. If you go in and pull the logo off the website of, say they have a picture of their logo on there, and you just click it and download it, more than likely that's not going to be high enough resolution. If you have a question as to whether the logo is high enough resolution, email it to me and I can definitely tell you whether it's going to be high res or not. So I'm going to switch over to the screen here and show you the website that they're going to put this up like this for us, but this is what they've done for KBFTN in Nashville. So it's Wildwear America is the company that we'll be getting the jerseys from. Let me get over here to this site, see if I can scroll up or down. Okay. All right. So this is what their jerseys look like currently. And this is what they're doing. So they're putting the sponsors, across the back, and we'll have our main sponsors going here. We're going to have some of our other main sponsors going down the sleeve. We're going to have FKBT on one of the sleeves. We're going to have the American flag on one of the upper sleeves and the Florida flag on the other. We will have your last name across the back, and we'll have our small logo right here. So that's kind of what the back's going to look like. Across the chest, we're going to have our main logo, the FKBT. Right here, as you can see on this one, they have the Tennessee Kayak Bass Nation. If you fish the Florida one, we can put that on there. You'll have your name here on the left chest and whatever boat you fish out of right there. We're also going to add in here, we're going to have our KBF ambassador logo and also Fishing Chaos, since that's the platform we use. So this is your regular pro staff apparel and your jersey, normal fishing pro jersey. You can also...
Hey, Todd, real quick, do they
Yes.
do short sleeve and long sleeve, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to scroll down here through here and show you everything that you can get. So we have buffs that you can order. They also have fleece hoodies for our boys like Sean P here, who like to wear the fleece hoodies, all year long when it's 100 degrees outside. There's the short sleeve jersey and the hooded sun jersey as well. And I also do believe we can even just do a regular without the hood. If you want one of those too, we can add that in. So the way this will work is you'll be able to put your name, email address, phone number, and the address that it will be shipping to. You'll choose your garment, which one you want, and we will have the same prices that they provide the club in Tennessee as well. So we'll be getting the same prices as well. So you'll be able to pick your size, your jersey size. I will let you know that they said that the large size and up runs a little bit larger. So what I will do is we will email out, a size chart. And if you have a shirt that fits really good, you might want to measure that shirt out so you can make sure that this jersey will fit you the way you want it to. But it does run a tad bit big from the large up. So we'll choose which ones. You'll have the front name, what name you want on there, the back name. Just leave it blank if you don't want anything, or just write no name in there. Any other additional notes that you want. So right here, you'll have add your personal sponsor logos. So you can pop it in there. Same thing with your kayak brand and so forth. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty easy, and I think you're really going to like it. So what we're going to do, as soon as I get the designs back from them, I will shoot that over. We'll put a post out so that everybody can see it, and hopefully we will hit the nail on the head, and hopefully that you will like what we have there to offer. Yes, they actually have women's, and they also have youth as well. So if you have a young one that you want to buy one for, they have those as well. And we'll post all that out there as well. So
yeah, and real quick, Todd, we're also still going to continue. Todd will still be able to do the hats that we did last year. If you guys are interested in some of our new anglers, these are some of the hats that Todd had done for us. And then also Todd can also do the basic Florida Kayak Bass Trail sun shirts that we did for last season. So if you guys are interested in that, Todd, I'll let you kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and on those, we can also do ladies and youth as well on those sun shirts too. So that's all available. So anyway, that's basically all I have on that. So I will tell you this one thing though. Once we get the design, hopefully I'll have it the first part of the week. I'm getting them all the logos and everything now that we're going. We've discussed exactly what we want to put on there. And so I'm sending them, they're going to get a design and we'll put it out. And once you place the order, unfortunately, it's not a super quick turnaround. It's about a 5-week turnaround. So, it takes about 5 weeks because they are making these, to order. It's not like buying a big bulk of them, at one time. This is made to order, specifically for you. So, which is pretty cool. So anyway, that's all I have on that.
They won't be ready. They won't be ready for the first event, but they'll definitely be knocking on the door for our November.
And I will say one thing about those jerseys, they hold up very, very, very well. I've seen some that we've done like 4 years ago, and they still look brand new. That's how well
Scott Corliss. Scott Corliss has a question here too, sir.
Will we need to send an email with the Vector logos or upload them on that order form? I think you should be able to upload them on there, but if not, they will give you I'll find out exactly, and let you all know for 100%. But we should be able to upload them right there on the website.
We got Randy Burke asked a question. Where can we order hats from? That's Mr. Todd himself.
Yeah, if you want, just shoot me an email or message me or whatever, Randy. I actually still have 5 or 6 left over from this past year. So I actually have a few left in stock. I have the gray and black with the FKBT logo that has the orange around. And I think I've got gray and white also. So I do have a few of them left in stock.
Yeah. And we will make a post here soon for folks, some of our new anglers, our new members. If you're interested in hats and those types of things, we'll have Todd. We'll create another post on our members only page, and we'll get a order put in for you guys for that.
And I think also, Bailey, you still have some t-shirts left over too, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I have some of the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. I would say cotton or 50-50.
Yeah, it's just a soft touch.
Yep. So I have a soft feel Florida Kayak Bass Trail FKBT shirt that has this logo on the front and then the round logo on the back. I have a ton of those left. They will be at each event. We'll be selling those. If you guys would like those as well. They're not the sun shirt, the A4 material. They are like a soft feel polyester-ish style shirt.
They're a cotton shirt.
They're cotton shirts, yes,
yeah.
Cotton shirts. So.
And I will say on those particular shirts, they do draw up a little bit. They do shrink some, so you might want to get a size large.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I have a ton of those. I'll be bringing those to the Headwaters event. So if you're interested and you want one to wear, I'll get you set up there as well. So. Todd had a dog, had his dog's on alert. So yeah, now
Amazon decided to deliver at 8:20 tonight. So,
well, Todd, I appreciate that, all the hard work you're putting into getting those jerseys and everything squared away. Looking forward to that, and it's going to be a great opportunity for us to showcase our sponsors on a quality product. So I'm going to turn it over to Sean to wrap up this live around the hour. You have about 11 minutes, Sean, to talk about what you need to cover, and then we'll get you out of here.
It'll be quick. So specifically on pre-fishing during official practice, I'm going to clean that up and define official practice as 21 days out, you must fish out of a kayak. So at 22 days, you can fish out of a bass boat if you want, but within 21 days of the start of the event, it's only going to be authorized watercraft and paragraph 7 in the kayak regulation.
Section 7, yeah.
Yep. So I'll clean that up. Official practice defined as 21 days, and it kind of in the next paragraph it specifies like guide service or
information gathering.
Information gathering at 21 days out also. So it'll be tied to that. Taking a guided trip inside of 21 days, you're not going to be able to take a guided trip. But to give you guys a heads up, I'll go ahead and drop the overlay. Probably I'll try and do it tonight. Just a Google Map link. I'll share it with you with the boat ramps authorized for use at Fellsmere /Stickmarsh. If you've recently
not very many of them.
Yeah, if you've recently been to Stick Marsh, where me and Bailey have been crushing the bass way back in there in Stick Marsh, they're kind of building a kayak launch in the Stick Marsh side, but you can utilize the kayak launch in the Fellsmere right there at the Stick Marsh boat ramp. You can use the Stick Marsh boat ramp, or you can use the Headwaters boat ramp. I don't know if their little construction they have going on around the kayak launch and the Headwaters is going to be complete. They've been going at it for a minute now.
So with that, there's folks launching from that, Sean. I've seen a group of people launching from where that construction site is, with the backhoes.
Okay. Yeah, so it appears they're putting like a little kayak launch in the Stick Marsh also. To answer your question, Dave, I know you asked if the Fellsmere kayak launch is clear. I mean, it's still clogged up a bit. There's a bunch of mats that have blown into the north, so you're gonna have to move a little bit further down to launch at the kayak launch. And the boat ramp, the South Canal's hit and miss. Hopefully, there's boats going in front of you to chop through the mats in the S Canal. Kind of like you have to. That's the easiest way to get through, or you're gonna have to pull up on that levee and slide down. But yeah, the last 2 weeks it's been clogged up pretty good. Both the kayak launch and the Headwaters boat ramp. Stick Marsh is filled back up. I think it's actually a little bit over full pull, but it's pretty dirty. But the fish are slamming some lures. But I think that pretty much covers everything I need to talk about. Chris Arazi, I'm also a boat club that does tournaments on Lake O and Toho, sometimes the first Saturday of the month. How would that affect me with that?
It'll only affect you if we're fishing those lakes. We fish the second Saturday of each month, right? So if we have a Lake O, our tournament on Lake O is, I don't know the exact date. It's middle of the season, I think. And then the Toho event's our second event of the year, right? So making sure that you're following the regulations. This just happened in KBFTN where a guy was fishing a boat tournament or fishing a kayak tournament, left. It was like a 24-hour kayak tournament, got out of his kayak and went and fished a night tournament on a boat. He ended up getting back in his kayak after that tournament, fishing and winning the tournament and forfeiting his winnings. Because you're not allowed to be, you weren't allowed to do that. So for this as well, right? So making sure that you understanding the rule state within 21 days, right? You cannot be on that same body of water on Lake O or Toho. If our tournament is that month, or you're going to sign up to fish Lake O or Toho, and it's within that 21-day period, you either, at this point, I guess it would be you choose boats or you choose the kayak, unfortunately. I mean,
Chris,
whatever decision you make, yeah, that's
Chris or Rod, you can give me a call and we can talk about it specifically with the dates of your boat club and the boat or kayak tournaments. Make sure they're all deconflicted for you so you're not violating any rules. We can get on a phone call. Probably this week, probably not going to work, but next week is fine. Go ahead, Todd.
You're muted, Todd. We can't hear you.
He's in silent
Sorry,
mode.
There we go. I was in silent mode to block out the dog. For Chris, actually for everyone, if y'all will go check out the Facebook page, we updated the schedule due to some of the conflicts with some of the major events that's going to be there. So we have actually flipped Harris Chain and Lake O. So now Harris Chain will be February 10th and Lake Okeechobee will be April 13th. So
yeah, the elite series was going to be on the Harris Chain the same time that we were, and we know how that goes. So we saw that, we looked at it, and then if you notice too, the championship is TBD. We're working on getting a date, time, month, all of that set aside where we can get max participation. I think this was Christopher Lindsay.
Yeah, I'll answer that. So I have some of these are repeat lakes. I have the overlays already created, but I'll go ahead in the next. I'll push out Fellsmere and Stick Marsh tonight, but I'm just going to go ahead and drop every single boat ramp for each event in a Google Map overlay with the boundaries for each body of water we're going to fish. And generally we open up all launches, and I try and do a thorough review on the FWC website, whether boat ramps are closed or not, and keep those off the list specifically. But so I'll put those overlays out. We normally open up every single launch. We just got to remember in the rules this year, we specified check-in post-tournament, so that it's not really going to affect you on a lot of bodies of water, but the Harris chain may influence your launch location versus the link-up location after the tournament, and Lake Okeechobee is probably going to influence. But all the other lakes, it shouldn't create a huge issue because you're going to have to utilize some time management to get to that post-tournament check-in, so you're not losing out on any winnings or AOI points because we're making mandatory check-in at the link-up location that's going to be specified in the tournament registration.
Yeah, and just like Sean is posting all the layouts of the authorized boat ramps, when we're selecting that post tournament ceremony, like award banquet, where the mandatory check-in is required, it's going to be in a location that can fit 20, 30 of us kayakers, right? Or have a gazebo or have something, and it's going to be generalized in the middle of the lake. Right, we're not going to go all the way up to the north, and we're going to try not to go all the way to the south. We're going to find locations that can house us, or we can fit there, and do our award ceremony or finish that out and be able to accommodate for the amount of anglers that we have to sign up. So we will go ahead and post those sites before. We'll have all that kind of figured out before October 14th comes around. So when you guys are pre-fishing for Fellsmere and Stickmarsh, it's going to be the Stickmarsh Pavilion, and in the parking lot of Stickmarsh, and where the kayak launch is for Headwaters or Fellsmere, there's a pavilion. That's where the check-in is going to be for that, and the check-in will be an hour after line's out. You're going to have an hour, and depending on Okeechobee or those larger bodies of water, we'll get some feedback, and we will determine pushing back that check-in time depending on kind of how large the body of water is. So we'll make sure that it is feasible and you guys are safe, and not we're not putting you guys in harm's way. However,
good. Sorry.
However, time management is huge. You guys got to make sure that you guys are, doing your part as an angler and as a competitor to make sure that you guys are meeting that timeline. There's kayak clubs all around the country that do this, and it's very effective. So we're hoping to adopt that and be effective and be strategic on what we're doing, so that we can really get after what our vision is for our club this year. So we appreciate you guys. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, last thing with Fellsmere and Stickmarsh, the boundary is pretty easy. Fellsmere is wide open all the way down to Egan, and Stickmarsh, as long as you stay within the levees of the body of water, you're good. But you kind of sidetracked me there. I had a very good thought going on, then it just burned out. But forget it. I'll drop it. I know we're at almost an hour and 30 minutes. I'll think of it. But the Lightning Shelter Harrelson, let's go check it out on Sunday and see if it's out. I'm tracking it's done already.
It's good.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers everybody's questions. And like we always say, you can reach out to any one of us anytime, and directly, and just ask whatever questions you need to ask, and we'll try and get you the best answer.
Yeah, and just pay attention. These next couple Thursdays in a row, we're going to be having some sponsors come on. We're trying to get Hooked on Headwaters on one of our podcasts leading up to the October 14th event. So look forward to having them on our podcast. But we're also going to be doing our mandatory captains meeting, right? So we're going to do our captains meetings on Thursdays at the same time. What you got, Sean?
No, so it came back to me. The launch times and lines in time are going to be slightly different at Fellsmere due to the regulations they have placed. You can't launch until an hour prior to sunrise. Sunrise at that time is going to be 7:22. We're going to do a 6:30 what do we say, 6:30 launch, lines in 07 for that event, all the way up until 3 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
So 7 to 3.
Yep.
And then we're going to transition back to a timeline that's going to be the same the remainder of the year, because we're not going to face any of those bodies of water that have very strict regulations, such as like Tenor Rock and Fellsmere is the only ones we've had to alter timelines for. But that's all I got.
Awesome. Again, we appreciate you guys watching. We've averaged about 23 to 25 folks watching. That's fantastic. If you guys are watching this afterwards, after we went live, and you guys have questions, reach out to us. The email is in the comment section. Right there, it's Florida Kayak Bass Trail at yahoo.com, or you can find myself, Todd, Chris, or Sean on Facebook, and shoot us a message, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So just some quick do outs for you guys. Make sure you guys are filling out your liability waivers and sending those to that same email. We are collecting those and making sure that we have everybody on board before the October 14th event, so that everyone's squared away and there's not going to be any hiccups that way. But that's all I have. Again, thank you guys for joining us tonight, and with Jon with Torrent Outdoors, an amazing guy with a great company, and you guys are going to get your hands on a lot of his baits throughout the rest of this year at these post-event meetups. So go out there, show some love to him, purchase some of those Striker 4.0s or those Threshers, and post some of those pictures of the big bass you're catching using them. But that's all I have. Todd, you got anything else?
No, if y'all are fishing this weekend, be safe out there. Thank y'all for tuning in. And one last thing, get signed up for the tournament. Get signed up for Fellsmere. We got 3 already signed up. Let's don't be like most kayak anglers and wait till the last minute. Let's get up there. Let's go ahead and get it going.
So yeah, real quick, we'll thank our sponsors: Strike King, Van Hunks, Dakota Lithium, 13 Fishing. We got Torpedo, Torrent Outdoors, Yak Attack, Rogue Gear, Ego Fishing. We got some cross kicks on there too, and Spear Point Performance Hooks. And then last but not least, Quilco Print and Promos. The man, the myth, the legend, Todd Quillen. But yeah, we got some good things coming with these sponsors hooking us up this year. And we look forward to giving back to you guys. So continue to support the club and have fun and be safe out on the water this weekend.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yep. Take care.
That was weird. I wanted to do that.